Thank you for pressing play. Your presence here brings joy to my heart. Hello, fellow enthusiasts. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of 2008 Washington Kastles season. The 2008 Washington Kastles season was the inaugural season of the franchise in World TeamTennis WTT. The Kastles finished 5th in its Eastern Conference with 6 wins and 8 losses and failed to qualify for the postseason. Get ready to immerse yourself in the world of founding a franchise as we examine its impact and relevance. The founding of the Washington Kastles as an expansion franchise was announced by WTT Commissioner Ilona Toss on February 14, 2008. The team was founded by a group led by venture capitalist and entrepreneur Mark Ein, a resident of the Washington metropolitan area. At the press conference announcing the team's creation, Ein said, "I am thrilled to bring World TeamTennis to our area. WTT tennis is great entertainment emphasizing fan interaction, and it is the only major sport with men and women playing together on the same team. The Washington Kastles season will be an exciting summertime addition to our local economy and a fun activity for our entire community." The team was named after Castle Systems, LLC, a provider of building and office security systems, of which Ein was the majority owner and managing member. The Kastles became the first franchise in WTT history to be based in Washington. Let's zoom in on drafts and understand its implications. Serena Williams became the first player in history to sign with the Kastles when she was selected by the team in the first round of the WTT Marquee Player Draft on March 19, 2008. In the roster player draft on April 1, 2008, the Kastles selected Justin Gimelstob, Sacha Jones, Scott Halfsamer and Mashona Washington. Let's now turn our gaze towards Kastles Get a Home and explore the fascinating connections it has to offer. At a press conference on April 30, 2008, that included Kastles owner Mark Ein, WTT Commissioner Ilona Toss, WTT co-founder Billie Jean King and Washington Mayor Adrian Fenty, the Kastles announced plans for the construction of a temporary 2,020-seat stadium on the parking lot on which Citizen Park was expected to be built in the future. The Washington Convention Center had formerly stood on the site. The temporary stadium was to feature both courtside premium box seating and affordable bleachers close to the action. Located at 11th and H Streets, the stadium could be reached by fans using the Washington Metro. After extolling the virtues of the stadium and its location, Ein said, "We're going to take this parking lot and turn it into a home worth defending." The team announced that season tickets as well as 3 match packages that included the inaugural home match in which Serena Williams was scheduled to appear and visits by John McEnroe and the New York Sportums and by Anna Kournikova and the St. Louis Aces were on sale. Ein said that the Kastles were committed to integrating charitable and community-based initiatives into all of their activities. There would be a designated charity beneficiary for each home match, and the Kastles planned to host community-based programs at the stadium. The team expected to provide internship and volunteer opportunities for area youth. The Kastles planned to give away more than 1,000 tennis rackets to local children attending their matches and at community clinics sponsored by the team. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of Gimelstob suspension and exploring its multifaceted nature. Justin Gimelstob appeared on The Junkies, a local radio sports and lifestyle talk show, in June 2008. During an hour-long interview, Gimelstob made several disparaging comments about female tennis players. He said, "Female tennis players lack the social skills. They don't go to high school, they don't go to parties." Gimelstob used the term sexpert to describe both Tatiana Golovin and Liz Cornet. He commented that there were fewer lesbians on the women's tour than there had been 15 years earlier because they're all Russian chicks, and there are some cute ones out there. Regarding Anna Kournikova of the St. Louis Aces, alongside whom he once trained, Gimelstob said, "She's a bitch. Hate's a very strong word. I just despise her to the maximum level, just below hate. Looking ahead to his upcoming meeting on the court with Konikova in mixed doubles, Gimelsub said that he wanted to hit her hard in the midriff when serving in her direction. He added, "If she's not crying by the time she walks off the court, then I did not do my job." Asked by the hosts if he would ever date Konikova, Gimelsub responded, "Definitely not. I have no attraction to her. She has a great body but her face is a 5. I really have no interest in her. I wouldn't mind having my younger brother, who's a kind of a stud, nail her and then reap the benefits of that." Following Gimelsub's comments, on June 25, 2008, WTT suspended him for one match without pay for violating the league's player code of conduct. In a statement released by the league, Gimelsub apologized and said that there was no excuse for his comments. He expressed heartfelt remorse and said that his comments did not represent who he is and the respect he has for women. Gimelsub said that he would be making a donation to the Women's Sports Foundation with the hope that positive action can speak louder than his words. On July 3, 2008, the Kastles signed Vince Spadey as a substitute player to replace Gimelsub in their inaugural match. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of season opening road trip. The Kastles met the Philadelphia Freedoms in their inaugural match on July 4, 2008, at the King of Prussia Mall in Upper Merion Township, Pennsylvania. Vince Spadey was the first player on the court for the Kastles, and he won the opening set of men's singles. Mashona Washington followed with a set win in women's singles. After Spadey teamed with Scott Alsoma to take the third set of men's doubles, the Kastles had a lead. The Freedoms won the fourth set of women's doubles in a tiebreaker and followed by taking the final set of mixed doubles, to send the match to overtime with the Kastles leading. Washington and Alsoma won the first game of overtime to seal the Kastles' victory. The following day, the Kastles signed Tripp Phillips as a substitute player to fill in for Justin Gimelsub for their match in Delaware that evening. Gimelsub was unavailable because he was working as a television analyst at Wimbledon. Washington and Alsoma carried the Kastles to their second straight win to start the season. They opened the match with a set win in mixed doubles. Alsoma teamed with Phillips in the third set of men's doubles for a set win. Washington paired with Sacha Jones to take the fourth set of women's doubles in a tiebreaker that gave the Kastles a lead. After Alsoma dropped the final set of men's singles to cut the Kastles' lead to, he won the first game of overtime to clinch a triumph over the Delaware Smash. Brace yourself for an enlightening exploration of home opener as we dive into its profound implications. The Kastles' inaugural match at home was the climax of an all-day event. The team conducted a youth tennis clinic at Kastles Stadium, and Serena Williams, fresh off a loss in the Wimbledon ladies' final to her sister, Venus, and a transatlantic flight, arrived about an hour late. She participated in the clinic for 19 minutes, giving advice about both tennis and life and hitting volleys with some of the 50 children present. After an interview with the Tennis Channel, Williams held a press conference for the 20 reporters on hand, who quizzed her about the loss to her sister. Later in the day, Williams stopped by the Kastles VIP tent to speak with the guests. Kastles owner Mark Ine joined the sellout crowd, taking his courtside seat, flanked by Washington Mayor Adrian Fenty and WTT co-founder Billie Jean King, prepared to watch his undefeated team. However, when the players hit the court, the visiting Boston Lobsters quickly erased the festive mood. In the opening set of men's doubles, Amir Haddad and Jan-Michael Gambill thumped Scott Alsoma and Justin Gimelsub, who was making his season debut. Williams and Gimelsub followed by dropping the second set of mixed doubles. After Gimelsub lost the third set of men's singles in a tiebreaker, the Lobsters had a lead. Williams and Mashona Washington managed to take the fourth set of women's doubles in a tiebreaker to cut the lead to. Williams converted a break point in the sixth game and won the closing set of women's singles over Marie Pelletier to send the match to overtime with the Lobsters leading. Williams won the first two overtime games before Pelletier held serve in the third to secure a victory for the Lobsters. On the day of their home opener, the Kastles announced they had signed Robbie Ginepri as a substitute player to fill in for Gimelstob on July 11, 2008. In the upcoming portion, we'll be dissecting first home victory sparks a winning streak to gain a comprehensive understanding of its implications. After their home debut, the Kastles embarked on a two-match New York road trip and lost to both the New York Buzz and the New York Spartans. The Kastles returned home to face the Buzz on July 11, 2008, looking to secure their first home victory and break their three-match losing streak, having dropped all three matches in which Serena Williams appeared. After the Kastles dropped the opening set, Sacha Jones and Mashona Washington evened the match at 8-all with a set win in women's doubles. The Buzz took the next two sets and held and led heading to the final set of men's singles. Robbie Ginepri, making his Kastles debut, won the set over Nathan He to send the match to overtime. Ginepri then won 3 straight overtime games over He to tie the match at 21-all and force a super tiebreaker. Ginepri completed the dramatic comeback by taking the super tiebreaker to give the Kastles their first home victory in franchise history. The following day, the Kastles announced they had signed Kevin Kim as a substitute player to replace Justin Gimelstob in their July 13 match at Newport Beach. Williams and Kim were the key players in the Kastles' victory over the Newport Beach Breakers. They opened the match with a set win in mixed doubles. After the Breakers took both the women's and men's doubles sets, they held a lead. Williams dominated Lilia Osterlo in women's singles to put the Kastles in front. Kim faced eventual 2008 WTT Male Most Valuable Player Ramon Delgado in the final set of men's singles. Delgado entered the match leading WTT in men's singles winning percentage, having taken 31 of 47 games played and had not yet dropped a set in the event all season. Delgado went up a break in the set and pushed to a lead while giving the Breakers a lead in the match. Kim used strong baseline play to hold in the 6th game, break back in the 7th, and hold in the 8th game. The set went to a tiebreaker with the Kastles leading. Kim won the set tiebreaker to avoid the super tiebreaker and give the Kastles a win. Our focus now turns to event chronology, an important aspect of our discussion. February 14, 2008, WTT announced the founding of the Washington Kastles to begin play in the 2008 season. March 19, 2008, the Kastles selected Serena Williams at the WTT Marquee Player Draft. April 1, 2008, the Kastles selected Justin Gimelstob, Sacha Jones, Scott Oudsummer and Mashona Washington at the WTT Roster Player Draft. April 30, 2008, the Kastles announced their home matches would be played in a temporary stadium to be erected on the proposed future site of Citizen Turk. June 25, 2008, Justin Gimelstob was suspended by WTT for 1 match without pay for violating the league's player code of conduct. July 3, 2008, the Kastles signed Vince Spadey as a substitute player. July 4, 2008, the Kastles defeated the Philadelphia Freedoms in overtime in the inaugural match for the franchise. July 5, 2008, the Kastles signed Tripp Phillips as a substitute player. July 6, 2008, the Kastles lost the franchise's inaugural home match to the Boston Lobsters in overtime. July 6, 2008, the Kastles signed Robbie Ginepri as a substitute player. July 11, 2008, the Kastles earned the first home win in franchise history in a super tiebreaker over the New York Buzz. July 12, 2008, the Kastles signed Kevin Kim as a substitute player. Prepare yourself for an eye-opening discussion on draft picks in the upcoming portion of this video. With 11 teams making selections in 2008 drafts, the Kastles, as an expansion team, were assigned the middle pick 6th in each round. As we transition, let's shed light on Marquee Player Draft and its relevance to our ongoing exploration. In the Marquee Player Draft on March 19, 2008, the Kastles selected Serena Williams in the first round. They did not make a second-round selection. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting roster player draft and exploring its implications in greater detail. The league conducted its 2008 roster player draft on April 1 in Miami, Florida. The selections made by the Kastles are shown in the table below. The Kastles did not select any roster-exempt players. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on match log and its role in shaping our understanding. Align center border cell padding cell spacing style border x solid woe. Cuspan styler background, color white legend. Mkulokov Castles win. Mkulov Castles loss. Cuspan home team in CAPS. The spotlight now falls on on-court personnel as we delve deeper into its details. Thomas Blake, Kerry Justin Gimmelster Bobby Ginepusich Jones Kevin Kim Scott Alsam Trip Phillips Vince Spady Mashona Washington Serena Williams. As we progress through this video, let's shift our attention towards front office and uncover its hidden depths. Mark Dine, owner. Notes. Brace yourself for a deep dive into transactions as we explore its impact and relevance in our evolving narrative. March 19, 2008, the Kastles selected Serena Williams at the WTT Marquee Player Draft. April 1, 2008, the Kastles selected Justin Gimmelster, Sacha Jones, Scott Alsama and Mashona Washington at the WTT Roster Player Draft. July 3, 2008, the Kastles signed Vince Spady as a substitute player. July 5, 2008, the Kastles signed Trip Phillips as a substitute player. July 6, 2008, the Kastles signed Robbie Ginepri as a substitute player. July 12, 2008, the Kastles signed Kevin Kim as a substitute player. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with someone who might benefit from it.